Ooh, yo, don't piss me off, son. Yeah. What's good, y'all? Back at it again with another reaction. Listen, I don't want to waste any time. Y'all already know Abs is one of my favorite artists, and judging by the title, I have an idea of what they're gonna say, and I really want to make sure I leave as much room as possible towards the end to give as much commentary as I can. So I don't want to hold y'all too much longer. Let's get it.
Black lives matter, they act like they don't know this. Just because we can love each other don't give you an excuse to do it too. No.
You know, I already know there's a lot of stupid people who are gonna take that line and run with it.
Just because we can love each other don't give you an excuse to do it too. No.
That's a real line.
Mr. Officer, I can't breathe cause you've been pressing my neck with your knees. For years now, we're no different to average.
For years now. See, something that I've always said that I respect and I appreciate about the UK is that they're way more in tune with what's happening here than we are with what's happening pretty much in anywhere else in the world, and they're able to understand how their experience connects to ours. But Americans live in a bubble, so we don't really get it, at least not yet, but we'll see.
No. Mr. Officer, I can't breathe cause you've been pressing my neck with your knees. For years now, we're no different to other generations. Growing up fighting all the segregation, and we won't stop till we get peace.
Bando. The feds keep killing my people, they're not good peeps, they're evil. And they hate when they take one of us, till we take one of them when the gangs all equal. Black lives matter, we still try kill, so I guess it can't be peaceful. And few of my guys on the wing if you're doing life or just got recalled. I just got a call from bro, we just got life going feeling stressed. I told shit that your son's a star, plus God's with him so your youth is blessed. SJ my dog, my show, see me in court, bro, tried his best. There's no evidence on S, but 21 years got slapped to his chest. Yo, I just want be like.
Yeah, that's real, man. Just by the way he's articulating himself, you can tell that he's been able to kind of work through some of those pains and some of those traumas, and that's why he's able to articulate it the way that he can on this beat right now. But I'm gonna save some more for the end.
There's no evidence on.
I'm glad they're doing this on a drill beat.
Yo, I just want be like Diddy, police on my back car, look like my pops. Hold up.
Yo, R.I.P. man. When I learned about that, yeah, there's just so much that could be said. R.I.P.
My show, see me in court, bro, tried his best. There's no evidence on S, but 21 years got slapped to his chest. Yo, I just want be like Diddy, police on my back car, look like my pops. Hold up, stop, cause of that, why you want me locked? I see man get shot and chopped, got racks on racks, still come to the block. The fan saved me and got me hot, used to answer lines and chop down rocks. London.
Let me run that back. Let me see if I'm hearing that the way I'm thinking I'm hearing it. The way that I was interpreting that is that it sounds like he's saying that the police harass him when he hasn't done anything, but it's people who he's seen do things who are still kind of roaming free. Again, that's just the way that I'm hearing it, but I don't know if that's exactly what he meant.
The fan saved me and got me hot, used to answer lines and chop down rocks. London City, I'm hitting the stage, so I guess rap really is for me. 18 put 20 on Jolly, surely I take my sis and shorty. Can't say your cops are naughty, but fuck them man, gunshot for Pookie. Walkie talkie, that shit haunts me, few of my guys pray for me.
Wow, I just clocked it, Porky Pig.
Black lives matter, they act like they don't know this. Just because we can love each other don't give you an excuse to do it too. No. Mr. Officer, I can't breathe cause you've been pressing my neck with your knees. For years now, we're no different.
That's such a deep bar. You've been doing it for years now, meaning he's not talking to one person, he's talking to the whole system. And really quickly, something I want to address about the hook is different when you're in a particular circumstance, and that's the product of your circumstance, versus I inherently see no value in you because you are black, and thus I want to treat you however I can because this system also doesn't see value in you, and I'm gonna get away with it. It's two different things, and you probably already inherently understand that, and you're trying to pretend that you don't just for the sake of it, but I'm gonna leave that for now.
Black lives matter, they act like they don't know this.
They act like they don't know it.
Just because we can love each other don't give you an excuse to do it too. No. Mr. Officer, I can't breathe cause you've been pressing my neck with your knees. For years now, we're no different to other generations. Growing up fighting all the segregation, and we won't stop till we get peace.
In other words, this is something that we've been experiencing, my generation, the generation before me, and then some. There was actually a video out here in America at a protest. I believe the young man was about 16, and he was fired up and he was angry, and the older guy was like, I feel you, I understand. It was just a really powerful moment to witness. But yeah, it's It's deep, yo.
These feds keep bringing come black, they'll see you in a group and call you a gang. Oh no, no cap, no cap.
And for those of you who are gonna be like, oh, but you are in a gang, that's not the point. Without even having that information, that is the immediate perception.
Won't stop till we get paid.
These feds keep bringing come black, they'll see you in a group and call you a gang. Oh no, no cap, no cap. Free Slim Jim, 21 in a can. Bro got a bird, put his head in his hands. It is what it is, but it wasn't the plan. On the other hand, them man chat and do it for the gram. Feds still estimate it awkward, so I said, Bando, we gon' go forward. Go all in, got round pouring. That's for the ones that are falling. When I wake up in the morning, I'm looking at my DMs, fans saying I'm awesome. We're keeping it going with a no but forfeit. Little bros listen whenever I'm talking. Just got a call from bro and Joe, and he's telling me drop more tunes. I tell him real soon.
I see what they're doing. They're like recreating scenes of them kind of just minding their business and then being harassed by the police. And again, if you don't think this is real, Dutch recently showed like the police just rolling up on him, like just asking him questions just because. It's real.
I tell him real soon, I can't refuse. Then he said, you already know what to do. He said, have you seen the news? The boys in blue trying to kill black youths. No remorse, just execute. They think they're solid, we can see right through it. I'm out trying to double, not take no L's. I'm not a guy that thinks, but it's
I'm out here trying to double, not take no L's. His name is Double L's.
I'm out trying to double, not take no L's. I'm not a guy that thinks, but it's self. Every little help, so coming for the belt. I'm running on stage, supporters, yo, we done excelled. I got bypass with the hate in the world. We done excelled. I got bypass with the hate in the world.
I'll do for you if you do for me. May the Lord bless you ever been through with me.
I'm just happy to hear Abs doing these kind of songs again. This is the Abs that I personally prefer, just because you get to hear that there's so much more depth to his intellect and what he can articulate than just drill. Which is why, again, you may have heard me say it before, drill to me is not Abs' best genre in general. He's able to do and say so much more in other genres.
We done excelled. I got bypass with the hate in the world.
I'll do for you if you do for me. May the Lord bless you ever been through with me. May the Lord bless you ever been true to me. Cause snakes in the grass ain't new to me. If you say that you love me, then prove to me. Lord, no.
Woo! Yo, don't piss me off, son.
May the Lord
It's the perfect way to end this
I'll do
song.
for you if you do for me. May the Lord bless you ever been through with me. May the Lord bless you ever been true to me. Cause snakes
And I'm just so happy that they chose to incorporate drill elements into this beat. And I'm pretty sure that was on purpose.
bless you ever been through with me. May the Lord bless you ever been true to me. Cause snakes in the grass ain't new to me. If you say that you love me, then prove to me. Lord knows that I miss my dogs, I miss my dogs, I miss my dogs.
Yo, you hear this? This is the Abs that I like,
May the
yo.
Lord bless you ever been true to me. Cause snakes in the grass ain't new to me. If you say that you love me, then
He could
prove
do
to me.
so
Lord
much.
knows that I miss my dogs, I miss my dogs, I miss my dogs. Pour any and flicks on my people that ain't here that we left in the bars. Oh, if just want to say I know you say I don't want you to bar. I just wanna see you bar.
They got blood on their hands.
Pour any and flicks on my people that ain't here that we left in the bars. Oh, if just want to say I know you say I don't want you to bar. I just wanna see you bar. Black lives matter, they act like they don't know this. Just because we can love each other don't give you an excuse to do it too. No excuse. Mr. Officer, I can't breathe cause you.
And the reason why that's important to me, that line, is because essentially that kind of becomes one of those little talking points for trolls on the internet, right? Well, y'all do it to each other. It's as if to say, well, if, because you don't value your life in each other's life, then why should I value your life? Because they're humans, they're people, regardless.
Black lives matter, they act like they don't know this. Just because we can love each other don't give you an excuse to do it too. No excuse. Mr. Officer, I can't breathe cause you've been pressing my neck with your knees. Yes, now we're no different to other generations. Growing up fighting all the segregation, and we won't stop till we get peace.
I'm really glad to hear that they're able to use their platform and articulate themselves in this way. And you can hear that it's genuine, they're not just doing it for clout, you know? So in this channel we hold the vowels, that means we're gonna get straight into it. This one falls right above a 9. Now honestly, if I was just rating this song without having to go through these criteria of flow, beat, lyricism, and replay value, I would have probably just given it a 10 just based off of the content of the song. And that's primarily because of what they were saying lyrically. And honestly, I would play this song again. Like, it's just such a powerful song, such a powerful message. So there goes the rating. So as you can see, I took a little bit of time after doing the actual reaction to do this part of the video. I just really wanted to make sure that my commentary matched the kind of effort that these artists put into this track, because it's obvious that they're talking about something that's really important and something that actually affects them in their day-to-day lives. I'm sure that there were people who heard the hook and they just couldn't wait to jump in the comments and make what they thought was going to be some kind of witty comment about how these artists are being hypocrites or whatever. But let's have a real honest moment right now. We have to remember that artists make music as a way to remove themselves from that circumstance, and also oftentimes to then go back and reinvest in their communities. At the end of the day, we're the ones that play the music, we're the ones that give them their success, we're the ones that dictate what they talk about. So you need to ask yourself, if your favorite drill artist came out tomorrow and they only started making songs like this, would you still support them? What kind of incentive are you actually giving artists to make music like this? Do you feel like by the end of the year, this one is going to see the same kind of numbers that all of their other songs did this year? When artists take stands like these, people love to try to bring up black on black crime as if it's some kind of genius rebuttal. But ask yourself this as well. Whenever you see violence that happens in any other racial demographic that isn't black, is the first thing that comes to your mind, well, why do they keep killing each other? Why is it that whenever it comes to crime and violence, black people are the only ones to have it associated with their race specifically? There are two things that are pretty much an absolute fact when it comes to violence. One, crimes typically happen within races because people tend to live around people who look like them. And that's a whole other conversation about migration and things like that as well. And two, wherever you see poverty, there's also high crime rates. And that's, again, regardless of race. From my perspective, there are really 4 main reasons for violence in general. And of those 4, the top 2 can be directly related to poverty. I always kind of intuitively knew that violence was related to mental health in some way, but it wasn't until I watched a sit down between gang members from different generations talking about their experiences, and one of them referenced that he had to realize as he grew up that one of the main reasons why he even went out on those write-outs was because he was suicidal. And when you think about it, it kind of makes sense. Why would a person put themselves in that kind of a situation to obviously be in the midst of violence if they weren't already kind of accepting of the fact that they might die? And then from there I started thinking about other things like, what would the police do if there was no crime? Don't the police actually need crime in order to have a job? If a government actually invested their resources into reducing crime, then how could they then justify funding the police to fight crime if they've already reduced it? And then there's going to be people who are still going to say, yeah, well, drill still incites violence, which then I have to wonder, who are these governments listening to when they're sitting at a round table and they decide to go on a write out to somebody else's country? Who are their favorite drill artists? You let me know what you think in the comment section down below. If we're staying true to the fact that what people are experiencing in these communities does affect their mental health, then it makes sense that they're going to make music that reflects exactly how it feels on the inside. They're making angry and violent music because they're angry about the violence that they're seeing and that they're experiencing in their day-to-day lives. My introduction to Cadet was actually a video on SBTV, and he opened it up by talking about why he was dialing back from his usual violent and aggressive music, and he talked about exactly why it was his music sounded like that in the first place. And again, what it came down to is what it was he was experiencing and feeling. A lot of these artists were literally just that one upload away from their whole lives changing, and once your life changes, you start seeing different things, and when you see different things, you make music about different things. If you want to talk about modern examples, look at somebody like Unknown T. Compare the first track you heard from him to songs off of his most recent project like Sweet Symphony, Main Squeeze. These are songs that had a completely different feel to the original drill songs that we heard from him. Legendary artists like P Money, Getz, Skepta, and even on the American side, artists like Meek Mill, Jay-Z, their music sounded different as the years went by. There's a very obvious and noticeable decrease in the amount of aggression and rage in their music, and the only other thing that we can correlate to that is the fact that their life changed too. And what changed their life? Music. And as a creative myself, I know firsthand that your first pieces of work aren't going to be as good as where you end up. So in a way, it's actually good that these artists get drill songs out of the way. It gives them experience in the music industry, it gives them experience writing music. That way, when it does come time for them to start making music like that, not only are they more experienced, but they also have a platform, and their more positive music is going to sound better because they know how to make better music in general. At the end of the day, the only person that any of us can ever control is ourselves. So that leaves one final question. What are you doing? What's your contribution to addressing the kind of violence that happens in these communities, aside from going in the comment section? How many organizations have you funded? How many community centers have you volunteered at? How many young people have you decided to mentor? How many of your favorite artists who you know have the money in the platform are you encouraging and applying pressure to then reinvest that money into their community? And we know it's possible if they really wanted to. I actually found out that this song samples Coldplay, and they made a statement stating that all of the royalties he's made from this sample is gonna then be reinvested right back into Broadwater Farm. So before you decide to leave your next comment on any video or post, ask yourself, what are you doing to change that situation? And don't even think you can try to play yourself and ask me what I've done, because I will embarrass you. But yeah, let me know what y'all think in the comment section down below. Did I say anything that really stand out to you? Did I manage to shift your perspective in any way? And also let me know if you want me to make more videos talking about topics like this. I got more reactions coming for y'all, but until next time, peace.